Since I rearranged my workshop, I'm really missing the workbench slash outfeed table. And also since I removed the side table because it was way too big for my workshop, I couldn't cut anything more than 15 inches before this fence would just fall off the side. So I also added an extension onto the side just so I can cut up to 25.5 inches, which should be more than enough for anything I need to do. Now I'm using poplar for all the main supports, and I'm using half-inch maple ply for all the surfaces. The places I get my plywood, which is just Lowe's or Home Depot, the half-inch maple ply seems to be the best bang for the buck for me for the shop stuff. It's very stable, doesn't twist, warp, has very little voids, and I've been having some really good luck with it. So that's what I'm going to be using for most of my shop projects nowadays. So if you also need a extension or side table, stick around and I'll show you how I built it. So thankfully my radial arm saw is on a mobile cart because I needed to pull it away from the wall to get enough room on both sides to cut an 8-foot board in half. Now here I am cutting the 46-inch long piece into 3 2¼ inch wide pieces, and those will be the 3 main supports. So I just cut down one of those pieces to make the side support for the side table. And this is going to be a stop cut because I need to make a curved cut at the end because I need as much meat as I can for the pocket holes, but I need the majority of it skinny in order to fit the planer underneath the side table. Okay, different project. Alright, so I picked up some of these furniture bolts. I like these because they have the big heads and there's the hex nut on the end. It's really easy to recess them into the side, so this is what I'm going to use to attach the sides. And I could not find lock nuts anywhere in Lowe's. I don't know why. There's just too many choices now. I don't know why there has to be so many freaking choices. I mean, why was it so hard to find 1/4-20 lock nuts? I just gave up and bought it right here once. Alright, now I'm going to drill out 1/4-inch holes, and I'm going to countersink just enough so that the heads will sit flush. And the holes in the side of the table saw are 3/8 inch holes, and these are 1/4-inch bolts. So that should give me enough wiggle room to make sure that these sides fit flush. So, time to start drilling some holes. Since I marked all the holes on the inside of the boards, I'm going to have to pre-drill all the way through with a small bit, flip them over, drill the countersinks with my 11/16 inch drill bit from the outside, and then I'll come back and drill out the through holes with the 1/4-inch bit. So that gave me enough wiggle room to make sure that this is flush with the top. Now I'm cutting the pieces that are going to be the front and back of the outfeed table. So I had to adjust the pocket hole jig a little bit in order to secure 1/2 inch plywood to 3/4 inch material. Okay, so all the holes to attach the plywood are drilled. Okay, I've adjusted the Craig jig back to the standard for 3/4 inch material. And now I'm going to cut the pocket holes for the sides. So these pieces are going to be under the miter slots. And it's just to keep stuff from falling down inside the miter slots and to give it a little extra support. And here I'm going to just rip the miter slot support pieces to width. Alright, so I set the outfeed table frame up how it's going to be. So this is going to be the side table, and I've got it set up upside down right now just to make sure everything fits. So I'm going to take it apart, drill a lot of pocket holes, and put it back together. And I'm also going to use some scrap pieces. I'm going to cut them up into just some 3/4 inch square pieces, and I'm going to glue and screw those onto the inside to support the plywood. So let's get started on drilling some pocket holes. To support the side table, I had to clamp a straight edge to my table saw and then clamp the side table support to it. And now I'm going to pre-drill and tap some holes in my aluminum fence rail to mount the side table to. Okay, so I've got the main table saw surface taped off, and now I'm going to spray a couple coats of polyurethane on the side table and the outfeed table. I highly doubt anyone out there is going to also have the same planer. So if you're going to be building one of these, you can probably just stick with some straight pieces on the edge, and that should be quite a bit easier for you.